All right, let's continue on with our face-off between the Samsung Galaxy S2 and the Motorola Droid X2 with a look, or a closer look at the user interface on our two contestants. The Galaxy S2 is running Android 2.3 Gingerbread with Samsung's 4.0 TouchWiz UI overlay. And on the Motorola Droid X2, we've got Android 2.2 Froyo with Motorola's Moto Blur UI overlay. And on the Galaxy S2, as on the Droid X2, you're going to get 7 different panels that you can customize either with Android or Samsung widgets, as far as the Galaxy S2 is concerned. Application shortcuts, bookmarks, folders, and contact information. And let's go through and take a look at some of the widgets that are available. It's Clock widget, Weather widget, which is new through AccuWeather. This is the AP News widget, which is pretty slick. YouTube, which is Android widget. This is what used to be Samsung's Buddies Now. It's simply a icon you can tap on either for a regular call, video call, email, text, or contact information. And they're pretty slick to have down there at the bottom. This is our picture frame widget. Stock market widget through Yahoo, easy for me to say. And you can have additional stocks on there, however you want to set that up. These are their bookmark widgets, which are nice. That's their monthly calendar widget. This is the email widget, daily calendar widget. This is a third-party widget. Thought I'd put one on there for Flickster. This is their yellow pad, which you can see right there. This is their active applications, which is nice. It shows you, it's an actual task manager, shows you the applications that are currently running. You can close them all down, which is pretty slick. You can take a look at the applications you've downloaded, take a look at the available RAM, shut everything down in the background if you'd like. And then you can see the available storage on the phone as well. You've got your power bar right down here as well, and it gives you 2 different pages. If I can tap on that properly. There we go. Didn't want to do that. Oh well, I guess I won't kill it. And then we've got their email, which is not automatically tie into Gmail. You have to set that up. And then you've got voice command, voice talk, and driving mode. And widgets are a little bit different than they used to be. They now have them across the bottom. We took a look at most. There's maybe a calendar widget and a couple clocks we didn't take a look at, and the days, which is their diary widget. We pretty much took a look at everything else that they have that's worth taking a look at. But that's how they're set up at this point. And then to move between the panels, obviously pushing on the home key will get you back to the home screen. Obviously pushing on the home key will get you back to the home screen. There we go. You notice the dots down here. You can tap on those, or you can simply hold down and it'll show you the number, and you can simply slide to whatever panel you want that way, which works pretty slick. So we'll get back to the home screen. All right, on the Droid X2, again, you've got 7 different panels, and then you're taking a look at Moto Blur widgets, and we'll go through all of those for you real quick. This is new for Moto Blur. This is their bookmark widget, which I think is nice. This is their messaging widget, which ties into your messaging. Sticky pad. That's their gallery widget, or one of their gallery widgets. That's Android Clock. This is their Facebook calendar gallery widget again that ties into Facebook. Weather widget, power bar widgets. These are their contact task, quick task widgets. Easy for me to say, where you can either just tap on it and again it'll bring up whatever information you want to have on there. And then they have a dual clock widget now as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything different than I wanted to show you. One thing I wanted to show you, let's get rid of this real quick. Oh, that's right, they've moved the trash can up to the top. The widgets are resizable on both of these. So there's resizing on there, and then on here we can, when you hold down on something, when you see those brackets, that lets you know that you can resize it. So we can make this smaller by simply sliding this over one, hitting the back key, and now we've got it smaller. So the widgets are resizable on both. See if there's anything else on here that's new from Motorola. Quick tasks, we saw date and time. Date and time we didn't look at. That's their old clock widget. Social networking we saw. Weather news. Pretty much that's the way they work. As far as moving around the different panels, as far as shortcuts, there really aren't any. On the Atrix, when you move between panels, you get shortcuts down at the bottom. Now you can try and tap on those, but it doesn't really work, as you can see. So you're basically going to slide back and forth. Now you can, from the home screen, push down on the home key and get a 7-panel overview. But once you get there, you can't pinch it. So you have to push the home key to go back and then push it again, get the overview again. So really the best way to move around is simply scrolling through the panels. On the Galaxy S2, you can squeeze the panel together to get all 7. Tap on one, go to it and squeeze again. Similar to what HTC brought to the world for all of us to move it as a shortcut between the panels. So a little bit of difference there, but not a heck of a lot. All right, let's take a look at the notification bars on both because we have some differences here. You get some connectivity manager shortcuts, which are nice on the Samsung Galaxy S2, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, sound, as well as auto rotation, so you can put it on mute. Nothing added on the Droid X2 except for something that's new is if you want to delete an email before you even go to take a look at it, you can delete it, you can hit clear, or you can tap on it and go directly to it. So that's something a little bit new for Motorola. And the Moto Blur version is on the Droid X2 is newer than the version on the Atrix 4G. So there are a couple additions which are nice. All right, let's take a look at the main menus on both. And on the Galaxy S2, it scrolls right to left, left to right, and it doesn't end, which is kind of nice. I like that. Also, you can edit your view, and you can add folders simply by dropping application shortcuts into the folder and then tap on it, drag it up, and title it, which is pretty handy. You can add new panels, which is very easy to do as well, and reposition. And again, change the widgets down here, or application shortcuts down here at the bottom as well, or add a page. And then there's a save button to hit to exit that and save. You also have a list view. One thing that I don't like is there is no way to alphabetize it other than if you do the list view. The grid view doesn't alphabetize it, which drives me absolutely insane. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they didn't, because you can see clock, calendar, music, you know, and we're not close. All right, so let's get back to the home screen, and there we go. On the Droid X2, we've got some things that are new. Up here in the upper left, you've got all apps, recent, and download. So you can go to recent, you can go to downloaded apps, which is pretty cool, and also set up a new group from there. And you also have a direct shortcut to the Android market, which we really don't need to see, trust me on that. Oh, did it finally update? It did, it finally updated. I've had the phone for 2 days and it just updated, finally. Here's the main application menu, and it's vertical and works very well. As far as editing it, you can sort it alphabetically, frequently used or recently used, which is great. What else we can do? We've got settings and search from there. So there's a look at the application menus on both. Let's take a look at the task managers on both, because this is something a little different. They're not really task. Actually, I guess on the Galaxy S2 it actually is a task manager. It only shows you the recent 6 applications that you opened, and again, tapping on it will take you directly to it. But again, that task manager we looked at before is available from there, which is pretty handy. On the Droid X2, instead of getting the H you're used to, it just continues to add to this page, and I'm assuming as I use this phone, depending on how long I have it, it'll continue to add to it until the page is full and I start scrolling down through the applications I've used. If there's a way to clear it, I haven't seen it yet, but at some point I would think you'd want that cleared. Maybe when you reboot the phone, it clears it. Or from the task manager, close all the applications, it clears it. So anyway, there's a quick look at the user interface on our 2 contestants, the Samsung Galaxy S2 and Motorola Droid X2. All right, let's take a look at the messaging applications on our Samsung Galaxy S2 and Droid X2, and I have the phone set up this way to remind me that you can actually have a split screen text messaging set up on the Galaxy S2, and it's under settings, so you can turn it on or off, and it shows up when you're in landscape. And let's head back here to portrait, and we'll put in a new message, but I wanted to make sure you saw that. Let's see what we have for text input methods here. We've got Samsung keypad and swipe. Let's start with the Samsung keypad. Take a look at it in portrait, and again, you've got numbers available on long press. Symbols are via the symbol number key in the lower left hand corner. Just to the right of that is the speech to text and your settings key along with an enter key. Call John on Tuesday, and that seemed to work quite well. Let's take a look at our keypad in landscape. for our meeting next Wednesday, and it got that just fine. So no issues there. All right, let's go back in and take a look at our other keyboard or keypad. And we've got swipe. So we'll take a look at swipe, and in the lower left you've got numbers and symbols, which are also available via long press. Smiley faces are available via long press up here in the upper right hand corner. Excuse me, that's left, my other right, upper left hand corner. You've got speech to text down here in the lower right, along with your enter key, and I will try and put something in. Call John on Tuesday. Call John on Tuesday. Wow, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Let's try this as well. For our meeting next Wednesday. Got that fine. Let's take a look what we've got in the way of attachments. So we've got a direct link to the camera for both pictures and video, direct link to audio, also maps for location, contacts, calendar, memo, and tasks. So a good selection. Smiley faces are available here, and there's a look at your smiley faces, so you have the typical list, Confused being my favorite. And there's the Samsung Galaxy S2. All right, let's look at the Droid X. And let's go down here and see what we have available for input methods. And how about that? We've got the same thing, more or less. Let's look at the multi-touch keypad. Again, there are no long press, either numbers or symbols available. Lower left-hand corner, you've got either settings or numbers and text, depending on if it's a long press or short press. We've got speech to text. Call John on Tuesday. Call John on Tuesday, did that quite well, no issues there. You've got your enter key over here on the lower right. Let's try this in, oop. We're meeting on Wednesday, got that perfectly. And again, it highlights misspelled words. So you can see we've got Tuesday needs to be capitalized. All right, let's take a look at what else we've got here. Let's go in and input methods, and we've got swipe. And there's a swipe keypad. I'm always amazed to see swipe keypads in white. Always confuses me. Anyway, you've got your capitalization key, symbols, long press to change language, speech to text is right over here. Against long press for smiley face above the Q. Numbers and symbols via long press or down here in the lower left hand corner as well. I only know how to type one thing on here, so let's see if I can do it. Call John on Tuesday. Not as good. I got the call John part, and I'm today, so I was close. And let's take a look at what we have as far as attachments. Oh, I've got to address this bad boy to get that, so put it to me. There I am. All right, let's see what we have for attachments. Existing pictures, so I have direct link again to the camera, also to audio, video, slideshow, location, and name card. So not quite as much, pretty close to, or comparable to the Galaxy S2. And then as far as smiley faces, what do we have? Looks like the same list of smiley faces. So there's a look at our messaging applications on the Galaxy S2 and Droid X2. All right, what do you say we wrap up today's face-off with our browser comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S2 and Motorola Droid X2. Kind of both running off the same Wi-Fi network. They both have their cache and history cleared. They're both running Adobe Flash 10.3, the latest version. They've both been updated. So let's head over to Smartphone Envy. And again, don't forget to stop by smartphoneenvy.com. Check out the winner of today's face-off. Also have the written review as well as photos and videos posted from both of today's contestants. And we're off. And again, the displays are both set to auto brightness. Looks like the Droid X2 wants to get there first. Winner is going to be... Who wants it? Galaxy S2, I think, got there just a hair ahead. And you can see just how smooth the Galaxy S2 is. It's actually amazing. Double tap, no problem. Pinch to zoom. One thing you can't do though is double tap to rewrap the text once you've pinched to zoom. So that's not going to happen. It's very responsive. Very responsive. Any formatting issues? Nope, doesn't look like it. All right, Droid X2, as you can see, is relatively smooth, but it's got that typical little sticky when you first start it up. Not bad, but not as smooth as the Galaxy S2. Double tap to zoom in, pinch to zoom, double tap again to rewrap. It does it very well. Nice and quick. Any rendering issues? Nope. Looks perfect. So they both handled that very well. Let's head over to Engadget on both. Which I'm guessing it's down here somewhere near the bottom on both. There we go. And we're off. Again, GS2 won our first round. Again, we're neck and neck. Galaxy S2 looks to have a little bit of a lead, and the winner's going to be Galaxy S2 is done. And the Droid X2 is done. And again, you can see just how smooth Galaxy S2 is. I haven't found a browser anywhere near as smooth or the quality. And again, you can, when you double tap to zoom in, it has 3 different levels you can do, near, normal, and far, and I've got it set on normal, which is the median, I'm guessing, since it's called normal, and that works pretty well. But again, if you want the text larger, you can set it to near and you'll get larger text. Alright, Droid X2, again, smooth, not quite as smooth, but still pretty smooth. Double tap to zoom in, no problems. Pinch to zoom. See, it works quite well. Double tap to rewrap. Handles that very well. Alright, what do you say we go and try and load a video on both of these? I think I've got CNN somewhere on both. Probably down near the bottom. There it is on one. Where is it on the other? There it is. And we're off. So far our speed winner is the Galaxy S2, and I think it's going to continue that streak. Although here comes the Droid X. Nope. Galaxy S2 is fully loaded and done. Droid X2 is now finished. No rendering issues on either. And again, the Galaxy S2 is a little more fluid, a little smoother. And we'll kick off our video. See how they spool those up.
On each LN. We're talking about the sexualization of little girls in today's world. We're talking about the sexualization of little girls in today's world. Now, here's a doll from Mattel. I believe this one is Claudine the Wolf. Nice, huh?
Alright, there's a look at our browser comparison. What I noticed on the flash videos, both of them were a bit herky-jerky when it came up to spooling up the commercial to start. Neither one handled that very smooth. They both took a while to get it spooled up and play it smoothly. When we got to the actual portion we wanted to see, the Galaxy S2 didn't seem to have any problem at all. It ran smoothly from the get. It seemed as the Droid X2 had a little issue as far as getting that running smoothly from the very beginning. It took it a few moments to get it spooled up and running as smoothly. So anyway, there's a look at our face-off between the Samsung Galaxy S2, Motorola Droid X2, again, both running dual-core processors. I hope it's been helpful. Take care.